Let's not misuse liberty. Let's respect it. Let's respect other Australians. And let's say to those who had the absolute agony of not being able to say goodbye to a loved one, let's respect those Australians who have gone through such hardship. Let's respect them. Let's find a way to express these sentiments. Let's exercise our liberties responsibly this weekend. I encourage people to attend for those reasons and those reasons only.
Wow. Thanks, Prime Minister. As an embarrassed Australian, I will not let you down. What the fuck is happening in the world right now? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I have seen things that I never want to see again, and I never thought I would see. It's been so crazy watching the world unfold and seeing the truth come out about so many things, and so confronting having to accept the own racial bias that's been put on me since I was born. I have such a privilege with the colour of my skin, and that I take that for granted every single day. I'm trying to be more educated and use my voice for people of colour and to redesign the whole way I live my life. Up until a few weeks ago, I didn't realise how deeply ingrained racism is in our Australian society. It's still here, it's very much relevant, and it's absolutely disgusting. The following audio over the footage I got at last week's protest is by Jonathan Shree, and I encourage you to watch the whole thing. I'll leave the link in the description box below.
In 2005, after thousands of drunk white Australians rioted through Cronulla, beating up brown-skinned people and chanting the words, "Fuck off, Lebs," Prime Minister John Howard told journalists, "I do not accept that there is underlying racism in this country. I do not believe Australians are racist. Australians need to recognise the systemic nature of racism. Systemic racism isn't as overt and blatant as the Cronulla riots or the booing of Adam Goodes, but it's there in the over-incarceration of First Nations peoples, in the exploitation of migrant workers, in the persecution of Muslim Australians, in the demonisation of asylum seekers. Unfortunately, most Aussies don't want to talk about it. This reluctance is deeply ingrained in our culture and prevents us from seeing the link between individual bigotry and systemic oppression. Now, not only is it deeply naive to assume that people aren't also going to be influenced subconsciously by cultural and media stereotypes, but acting as though race suddenly isn't a thing doesn't undo hundreds of years of oppression and exploitation. It's not going to stop Aboriginal people being incarcerated or Muslim women being spat on in the street. Acknowledging systemic racism will make most of us a little uncomfortable, but it need not leave us feeling guilty or powerless. Being white isn't a crime, and being a person of colour doesn't automatically give you the moral high ground on every issue. The challenge is for all of us to think critically about the systems that shape our lives and to recognise that simply retweeting feel-good anti-racist slogans isn't going to cut it. We need to talk about radical structural reform. Australia's racism isn't just in the past. It's pervasive, systemic, and ongoing. The bigot on the bus is just the tip of the iceberg. Reclaim Australia is a symptom of a deeper problem. But pretending that race is irrelevant isn't going to make racism go away.